asking me if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer for that. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back!
Sorry, I figured I should re-quote that amazing line from Keanu Reeves just for this video specifically. But welcome back, everybody, to the channel. I'm here to rank the Baba Yaga, the Boogeyman, the John Wick franchise. Man, this is going to be a wacky review because I love every single one of these movies, and there's 4 of them, if you didn't already know, and they're all awesome movies. So we are here to rank all 4 of the John Wick movies because of the release of Chapter 4 this past weekend, I believe it was, by the time I'm recording this. So yeah, let's just dive into this ranking. I think easily in last place for me is John Wick Chapter 3. This one has some really great action, of course. You know, all of these movies have great action sequences, and this just has some really mind-blowing stuff that goes on with it. Of course, it's got a bigger budget than the other 2 movies as well, because, you know, the bigger box office numbers led to the bigger budget for these movies. So yeah, this one has some really great action with the budget. I think the story is pretty good for the most part. The ending, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, which kind of holds it back for me a little bit. And John Wick is a little bit too invincible for my liking. There's that. But, you know, other than that, I think this movie is great. It's awesome. Very, very fun movie. In third place for me is going to be the original John Wick. This one, of course, was just a really big surprise hit back in 2014. I didn't watch this one when it initially came out, and for whatever reason, it took me about 3 watches to really, truly appreciate this movie for how awesome it is. Because Keanu Reeves is just the ultimate awesome dude to play in action movies nowadays. You know, with the Matrix movies and now the John Wick movies, he's been just thoroughly awesome with all of his movies, and of course there's also Point Break in there. And this just sent him on, like, this new, like, renaissance of movies that he's been doing, and, man, he's been on such a great kick lately, especially with these John Wick movies. And this first one is such a banger to start off the franchise. I absolutely love this one. I think, you know, the one thing that kind of holds this back from being, like, at least above the next 2 movies is just the ending doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because John is fighting an old dude, and he should be able to whip this old dude's butt, but he doesn't. It takes him, like, a whole fight to do this. So, I mean, whatever, but yeah, this still is, like, a nearly flawless movie in my eyes. Love this movie a lot. In second place, which used to be my number 1 for a long time, is John Wick Chapter 2. Now, a lot of, like, the common public, like, casual movie fans say that John Wick Chapter 2 is easily the weakest of the franchise, which I disagree wholeheartedly. I think it is one of the best movies out there in terms of action. You know, you got the party sequence. This party sequence, man, holy crap. It's probably, like, up there for greatest action sequence of all time for me. You know, with the sewer fight and everything, where he's, like, pulling off the shotgun off the wall, and he's going around shooting the dudes in the sewers in the head, and, like, their heads blow off and stuff. It's so awesome. Like, man, last time I watched this movie, I sat down and I was thinking to myself, this is why I love John Wick Chapter 2. I was gonna say, it's my favorite of the franchise because of this sequence, and then I was like, I need to wait until I see John Wick Chapter 4 to really conclude that. The iconic pencil kill is in this movie as well. I feel like people forget that. This is also the movie where they introduced the Kevlar suit jacket, which is also just awesome. So yeah, it comes in at number 2. My current number 1, though, is the brand new released John Wick Chapter 4. It might just be because this is the only one that I've seen in the theaters. And yes, it might be newness bias, but I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. I do need to rewatch this movie. Yes, I know. And it's got a tiny few issues. But wow. In terms of an action movie, this movie is just, it just blows me away of how great this movie was. People that I watched this with just kind of gave it crap for, like, no reasons that made sense to me. And I was like, I don't really understand where you're talking about that. Like, I There might be some spoilers in here, so just a little warning. But yeah, this movie I think has easily the best characters in the entire franchise. The introduction of Donnie Yen's Kane is such a great character. I love his little backstory and everything, how he's working with the High Table, why he's working with the High Table, why he's working for Pennywise, aka Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård was a really menacing villain as well. I will say that. And, man, holy crap, the action in this movie. For a 3-hour movie as well, it flies by, I'm telling you. Like, you can kind of feel the runtime, but, like, holy cow. Like, by the end of the movie, like, you walk in at, like, 6 o'clock at night, and you walk out, and it's, like, 10 o'clock, or, like, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whenever you're getting done watching the movie, and, like, oh, yeah, it's late. That was a long movie. But as you're watching it, it just flies by. I'm telling you, it's such a great, long movie. So, yeah, it flies by, like I said. And, man, the action, the spectacle, the budget. Holy crap, the budget in this movie was just off the walls great. The stunt work in this movie is so great. The action set pieces just look phenomenal. The hotel in Japan, that whole sequence, I was like, oh man, this might be the best sequence in the franchise. And then the next sequence happens, and I'm like, no, this is the best sequence in the franchise. And then this final showdown, like this 3-part showdown where it's like a fight in the street, a fight in the house with a dragon breath assault rifle, and then the sequence on the stairs. And I'm like, dude, this movie just gives me so hyped. There's so many great laughs in this movie as well, but it's like a movie that's so dead serious as well. It's such a strange movie to have a great sense of humor, but man, it is really funny in parts. So you got to give it credit for that. You know, the one issue that I have though is that it kind of undoes. Let me look this up. What is the word? It undoes the ending of Chapter 3 a little bit, and it kind of leaves you in the same spot, like looking back on Chapter 3, it kind of leaves you in the same spot at the end of Chapter 2 that it left it on. So you could just kind of jump from 2 to 4 and have, like, no gaps in logic. It's a little frustrating, but man, I would be lying if I said that if I didn't have that issue, that wouldn't be like my favorite movie of all time. So yeah, this movie is phenomenal, one of the greatest action movies I think ever made, and it comes in at number 1 out of this incredible franchise. Somehow it managed to make my number 1. So there you guys go, that's my list. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you really enjoy this franchise as well, and please go see John Wick Chapter 4 this weekend. If you already saw it, let me know down in the comments what you thought. If you liked it, if you hated it, you know, just let me know all of your thoughts on this movie, because I thoroughly enjoyed it and I want to know your opinion on it. Let me know what your opinion on the franchise is as well, because, you know, of course I'd like to hear that as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to see any more of my content. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.